Hello, everyone. You're now tuned into the Millionaire Millennial. I am your host, Stack Banks, and today is the 24th of July, 2024, and we are going to talk a little bit about the Ethereum ETFs and what's going on with some of the institutional investors in traditional finance who are now stepping into the crypto Web3 space and holding some of these digital assets and petitioning the SEC to create these ETFs and what that means for you. So before we get into anything, first and foremost, I always want to say this is not investment advice. This is purely educational. It's something for you guys who are unfamiliar with entrepreneurship, Web3, crypto, or maybe you're just looking to further your education in the space to get a little bit of information and maybe get some news and some good starting points and delve into your own research a little bit further. But the point of this podcast is to hopefully bring you guys a little bit of value and keep you abreast of what's going on in that space. And also sometimes I will be talking about some of the projects that I'm working on myself. But today we are going to talk about some other things. So the BlackRock IBIT ETF has hit new heights. So BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, IBIT, has reached new all-time high, capturing 67% of the Bitcoin ETF volume market share, surpassing its previous record of 61%. Despite this milestone, IBIT's daily trading volume remains steady at 1.2 billion, suggesting a potential decline in activity for competing Bitcoin ETFs. The firm's rapid establishment of IBIT as a market leader demonstrates its ability to navigate complex markets effectively. With Ethereum ETFs launched on July 3rd, all eyes are on BlackRock to see if it can replicate its Bitcoin ETF success. However, the Ethereum ETF market may present unique challenges and opportunities for all providers. Okay, so what does that mean? Some of you might not know what an ETF is. What that is, it's an electronically traded fund. And what that means is that these large institutional investment firms like BlackRock and Fidelity are now putting Bitcoin and different crypto assets on their balance sheet. It's my girlfriend walking the door. But I'm just going to keep going. So they're putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet and then creating these funds where investors can essentially buy into them. And Ethereum, one of the newer crypto projects, but a lot of people would think of it, if you think of Bitcoin as digital gold, they would think of Ethereum as like oil or silver. Excuse me, not oil. Like silver, right? If Bitcoin is digital gold, then Ethereum would be silver. So I have this chart pulled up. This is Crypto Bubble. Some of you may or may not be familiar with it, but it's a tool I like to use, to demonstrate what's been going on with certain cryptocurrencies and also demonstrate their market cap and their volume to you guys and do it in a way where I'm not guessing. I can actually just pull up the month or year or whatever to show you guys physically on these charts. And you can actually go on here yourself. This website is free, and you can break it down by the top 100 cryptos. You can go all the way out to 1,000 different ones. You can break it down by exchange. You can create watch lists, all types of things, and you can actually put it in whatever fiat currency makes most sense to you. But so I'm in the U.S., and so I use USD because that is my native currency, and so that's what makes most sense. So for any of my international viewers, I apologize. You'll have to do the conversion rates on your own, but this is Crypto Bubble. So when you look at the Crypto Bubble, so these actually show the market cap in a visual representation of each crypto. So as you can see here, Bitcoin sitting at a market cap of 1.29 trillion and Ethereum is about a third of that. So at $401 billion, 401.17, if that even matters to you any. So if you look at these charts and you can see the volatility in them, these both Ethereum and Bitcoin over the past, I'd say, when was this? I forget when I hit it. It's all-time high, I think, at the halving in April, but it has been essentially trading sideways. And I'd like to pull up a different chart at some point and show you guys, because this is not a correctly expanded chart, because this chart only goes back, I believe, a year or so. So to get a real perspective of what these assets are doing, you would want to look at a much bigger chart. But short term, it allows me to make some demonstrations with things. So Ethereum, this crypto right here, has been pumping. When you look at what it's done just over the course of the last year, right? Or excuse me, over the course of close to a little bit less than a year. And it has actually reached larger highs than what you're seeing here on your screen at this low back in September of 2023. But up here, you look at the high of $3,800, and it's actually sitting right around $3,300, so about $500 off from its all-time high. But I imagine that the price point per Ethereum is going to go up, especially with the mass adoption by these mutual funds and traditional financial institutions actually putting these on their balance sheets. And so I think personally it's going to lead to a mass adoption of a lot of different cryptos. But the fact that BlackRock, one of the largest, if not the largest, private institutions, is starting to put this stuff on their balance sheets is a sure sign of things to come. Okay, so I don't want to get too far into this episode or make too much of a deal about it, because I've talked about some of these things before as far as the Bitcoin ETF goes. I think these are good things. I think there needs to be more market compliance so that retail and institutional investors are able to distinguish between good and bad actors in the space, what projects are legitimate. And right now, at the moment, there's nothing that really satisfies that. And that's something that I'm working on personally. But I think for those of you who are wondering, is this a good thing? What does it mean? I think it is. I think it's a little unfortunate that most Americans are unaware of crypto or hold digital assets, and these large institutions are now getting into the game. And so I think that might create a bit of I don't know what that's going to look like in the future. I would have hoped that more Americans and people worldwide had gotten on board with digital assets before the large money starts moving into it. But that's the reality of it. And I think, if anything, this hopefully should be something that pushes the crypto space and Web3 space forward. So for those of you that are wondering about that, that's what the Ethereum ETFs are. And then I've talked about it before. Mt. Gox is a defunct crypto exchange. It had been hacked, I believe. I don't remember the exact time and date when, but a number of years ago, and they had a bunch of Bitcoin that they had recovered that they were actually sending out to addresses who had been defrauded. And so I think a lot of people were really worried about that Bitcoin hitting the market, and then the people who had it selling it off. And so far, that does not seem to be the case when you actually look at the price of Bitcoin since Mt. Gox had started releasing these funds. It essentially didn't change the market at all. I think it's just something that's in the news cycle perpetually, and it's a large talking point, and something that the different media outlets that are bought and paid for by these large institutional investors are going to pump these narratives that, is Bitcoin crashing? Should you get out? All this other stuff. And it's engineered, in my belief, to shake out the weak hands, the people who are, unsure investors and not quite sure what they're doing. So, they listen to the news cycle instead of actually doing research on the asset itself and figuring out where the value in it lies and what they believe that should be. Okay, so it's something that that is something you guys have to determine for yourselves. If you're going to trade on volatility, that's a different story altogether, right? If you're trying to time the market and make some money out of it, I don't fault you for that, and that's very hard. But there are people who do it, and you can do it off hunches in the news cycle and things like that. But I would not suggest you do that. I would suggest that if it's something that you're getting into these digital assets, buy them, research them, know what they are before you buy them, and then once you buy them and hold on to them. It's an investment, right? So I'll leave that there for now. I appreciate those of you who tuned in. I tried to keep this episode kind of brief just because besides the Microsoft outage, I don't think there's a lot really going on in the crypto tech world that you guys need to be made aware of. That's revolutionary in any ways. I've got some stuff I want to share about a couple different cryptocurrencies as this week goes on, but not in this particular episode. So hopefully this was of value to you guys. This was your 10 minutes of the Millionaire Millennial podcast. Please make smart decisions and be aware of what's going on with these large institutional investors. If it's something that maybe you don't even want to get into the crypto space on your own through Coinbase or Robinhood or having a cold wallet or anything like that, you can always go this route too. If it's something that you feel like an ETF is something that you're interested in and you have a financial advisor, I would suggest you speak with them. So anyways, that's enough for today, you guys. I hope this episode finds you well, and I will see you next time.